You've come to the right place, traveler.
Hey lads, welcome back to the channel. Cursedboy here with another Leagustarter build guide, and this is tried and true Leagustarter Bleed Paladin with Hammer Throw. This is one of the easiest Leagustarters. It's always one of my recommendations for newer players, more casual players, inexperienced players, but you can also min-max it to very high ends as well. And of course it's Paladin, so you can always swap it out in the later portions of the game as well. So let's get into it instantly into the game. So one of my top recommended Leagustarters on my streams for newer players, as I said, is this one. One of the reasons is because it's Paladin. Paladin is one of the easiest classes and masteries to get into the game for last Epoch, mainly because once you hit your mastery, you're getting Holy Aura, which is gonna give you resistance, gonna give you a little bit of extra damage, all of the good things early on that you need to make the campaign smoother. Another very important things, I know a lot of players don't like to swap a lot of skills and stuff like that, so Hammer Throw, you grab it from like level 3 when you unlock it, and you take it to level 100. Very simple here. On the planner that I'm gonna be giving you, there is going to be progression, but on the skills and on the passives, so you can just follow that progression, and you can take the build from the campaign to the end of the game. The build plays very easily. You are popping your hammer throws, they're running around you, right? And they're doing damage, they're inflicting the blades. And we have two movement skills. One is Sildras, to run through echoes extremely fast after you have your hammers around. Everything is dying around you. And the other one is Healing Hands for bosses and for short distances. And they also provide you with a little bit of recovery as well. Other than the skills are Holy Aura and Symbols of Hope, a lot of good things that we're gonna see. Is for the leveling portion on the campaign, there are 3 important prefixes on Sentinel, body armor, and helmets that you need to keep in mind. Those are gonna be on my Lootfilter as well, of course. Physical penetration will bleed chance with axe, and physical damage and bleed duration hybrid. Those are the 3 prefixes that you want on your gear, on both items, as fast as possible during the campaign, and of course in the end game. Early on in the campaign, the chance to inflict bleed and the physical damage, bleed duration, will be the 2 best prefixes. Penetration is also fine, of course. Later on, we want penetration and inflict bleed because we are getting bleed duration from other sources into the build. When it comes to weapons, you just need axes that the axes have starting from the lower bases, inflict bleed on hit, implicit, and this gets with better and better bases at higher levels, this gets amplified even more. At the end game, we're using Dragonborn Axe, which is 100% inflict bleed on hit there, and of course we're gonna have another thing. When it comes to the end game, we also have a new primordial unique that we're gonna be talking that makes this build a lot more potent than in the past. This was one of my recommendations last season without this unique, and it was still a blast. People had an amazing Leagustarter. Again, for the Leagustarter here, we are going to have the Leagustarter filter for the Paladin. I have adjusted all of the affixes here for the Paladin. Of course, I have early on, you can use in the first few levels even a 200 axe. That should be fine, but the bleed axe, the bleed axe here that I have recolor is what you need to keep in mind, and just put a little bit more of the of your defense and more stats. Early on, you want throwing attack damage, throwing attack cast speed, and minus throwing mana cost on your gloves, on your belt, and on your rings. The minus mana cost is only on the rings, so those are going to be highlighted, of course, and I will also have those added into the shattering rule here. So if you find bad items with that, you can shatter them to get the crafting affixes so that you can craft on your actual gear. This will become even more important during your early monoliths. Tier 1 minus mana cost for this build for the hammer throw is already good enough, and you're gonna have an absolute blast. When it comes to passive tree, you will see, of course, on the progression, one of the best things is that once you spend your 20 points on the Sentinel, you get 5 points into the Forger here, and this is why we want to use an axe, because we are getting 75% blitz chance right out of the gate at like level 22, 23, 24, something like that. So it's a very, very nice boost, and the build plays itself after that. Now, let's get into the passives and see what the new planner looks like for Season 3. Alright, here we are on the planner now, and of course, first of all, we are going to be talking about the new primordial unique that we will be using on this build. This is Carrion of Creation, which is an Eternal Gauntlet base, which is of course the best glove base in the game. It has a lot of blitz chance on hit by itself, and it converts Ignite, Frostbite, Shock, Time Rod, Damned, and Poison chance to blitz chance. It also gives us a little bit of more explosions, that they also gonna be doing physical damage, and they're gonna be inflicting bleeds as well. So this should increase the clear speed of this build by a ton as well. So I'm expecting to have this build a very, very nice progression, and it's gonna be fun to play with all the explosions in the end game as well. Now, keep in mind, this is not a primordial unique from the new vendor that we are buying most of our unique. It's one of the 3 that will be dropping from bosses. So this comes into play later down the line. It's not gonna be extremely easy. I think you need to complete a full lineage for this, and it's gonna have some modifiers that we need to apply. We're gonna have to find out exactly what's happening and how do we acquire this. I expect a lot of videos, a lot of information to come out on Reddit as well, the first one day or 1 or 2, and we're gonna be completely fine. Now, it's okay, because even if this comes later on, we care about that after we have access to our good blessings anyway, so it doesn't matter early on. Early on, you just use a pair of gloves that has a little bit of throwing attack speed, health, and you're good to go. Maybe you can add block and block effectiveness early on, so that you can cap your block a lot easier, right? Now, apart from this, let's get into the passives first of all, and as I said here, we're gonna have the progression bar that you can check out from level 1 to level 100, of course. Early on the Sentinel, we are just getting a few things here, a little bit of damage mitigation, a little bit of life and cooldown recovery rate for our movement skill. Of course, we want the block effectiveness here. I'm probably gonna take those vitality points on the planner I have and put them more on the paladin. Other than that, strength, and we want, excuse me, no, I cannot do that. I need to travel here. This is why I have extra points here, because we need to travel into Blade Master later in the game, so that we can get the extra attack speed since we are using an axe. 5 points on the VK here for the less damage multiplier, and we are getting 5 points, as I said, for the bleed chance, and extra block here with 3 points. On the Paladin tree, everything is very straightforward. The one thing that you need to pay attention here when it comes to your progression, these 10 points on Ignite are only once you acquire the gloves, not before. So earlier you will take points into the Valor, and you will take points into the Holy Icon for the extra health, extra resistances, extra endurance, and you are completely fine. Other than that, you're gonna be following after that the progression here. There are a few points that you can take out and grab a little bit more life, but as you can see on the planner, our life is already extremely high, and I don't have any crazy gear either. So yeah, you should be completely fine. This is a build that can easily hit 5k life, and we also have, of course, good recovery with our leads. Those points here are very important, of course. This gives us a lot of blitz chance and a little bit of duration from the threshold, and we also are getting a lot of physical penetration here and damage over time. The other ones are mostly defensive. This one is giving us more effect for Holy Aura and Symbols of Hope. This is offensive and defensive through our buffs, but yeah. This is a little bit of quality of life. You can take those points and put them here as you like, but I kind of like it personally. It's a little bit of extra movement speed damage and a little bit of extra mana regen for when we have our Holy Aura, which is always, right? And a little bit of course, mitigation here. Now, let's get into the skills here, and we're gonna talk about hammer throw. There are a couple of things that I'm gonna point out here when it comes to the hammer throw. There is a way, if you get like a 2 LP Leagustarter or even on 1 LP, you might sacrifice the tier 7 health and get plus 4 levels on hammer throw on the slam, which means that you can get full attack speed here. I already have a lot of attack speed on the build. This is why I opted out and I went with a life, but I'm just presenting you this option if you want more damage for the build, right? You can get like 3 points here, maybe a couple of points on the projectile speed slow. This makes your hammers overlap a little bit more on bosses, especially on bosses with big hitboxes like Aberoth, Uber Aberoth, etc, right? So there are a few things that you can adjust to the tree to your liking and to your playstyle as well. Other than that, very simple. The hammer vortex, once again, you only get after you feel good about your mana. Probably need at least 1 minus mana cost on your rings, but you can probably want to grab both of them. It's only tier 1 additions on your prefixes, and you're good to go. You don't need high tiers or anything like that on the minus mana cost for this build. More damage per time here, the ZL stacks here. If you don't want the ZL stacks, you can grab the attack speed as well. And other than that, extra projectiles that they're getting halved, and the minus mana cost here, and a little bit more damage. When it comes to the Holy Aura, we want the attack speed and the thrown attack speed here as well. This gives us a little bit of haste generation also. If you don't want the extra resistance and endurance, you can grab even more physical here. I do like these 3 points here for my Holy Aura. Whenever you're pressing Holy Aura, it doubles the bonuses that it gives you. So it gives you more attack speed, more thrown attack speed, more attack speed in general, and a little bit of extra damage. And it also cleanses you. I like this a lot. It's a nice quality of life. It is not mandatory. If you don't like it, you take those 3 points and you put them on the physical damage. Symbols of hope are very, very simple. We are getting a plus 1 symbol here, and all the block effectiveness here with the block. We are getting increased damage here, and these points once again are only once you get the primordial gloves. Before that, you will be traveling here and you will be getting 5 symbols, which means once you hit level 20 symbols of hope, you will have 5 symbols out. You will be getting a lot more blood chance, because this is also 20% more effect from the passive tree, so it makes capping your blood chance early on without a lot of gear a lot easier, right? Once you get the gloves, you respec out of them and you're grabbing the ignite chance, because this will get converted into bleed, right? So it's another 120% chance to bleed, basically. And actually 144 because it gets amplified once again. So smite, very, very simple. We are proccing smite with one of those idols here. The chance to cast smite on hit with thrown attacks. You can get 2 of those, but one of them is enough for this build, I find. And we want the quality of life here. This is extra attack speed, which is not gonna be on the calculations on the planner, of course. So yeah, an extra 20% attack speed. This buff is always up when you're hitting enemies, because you are proccing smites. And of course, we want a little bit of extra more multipliers here. So keep in mind, your smites will provide you with a lot of extra ability for our single target. So this 250% more multiplier is actually very, very nice. Healing Hands, this is my traverse skill. This is also the skill that you can swap out for anything else. If you want to go for Shield Rush, if you want to go for Lance, whatever is up to your alley. I like Healing Hands for the traversal here. It gives us a little bit of recovery. It gives us the immunity frames, so we can bob and weave around bosses as well. A little bit less more damage taken as well on specific enemies. I like making it 0 mana cost here, and a little bit of extra healing effectiveness. These are not mandatory. You can move those points anywhere that you would like, but this is my setup here. Plain and simple. Alright, let's check out the gear. When it comes to the gear, there are a few uniques that you want to aim to find as fast as possible once you are into your monoliths. So Runes of Ascendance, you can use them to grab those uniques. Blood of the Exile, Valdez Chalice, and Thornsinger. Those are also highlighted from the first rule on the Lootfilter that I'm giving you as well. And of course, those are very, very nice. The Valdez Chalice gives us bleed duration, bleed hit, and also it gives us our leads here. Before you get Valder Charles, you can use Bleeding Heart as your amulet. It's a very nice one. It is also highlighted on the filter here. And Blood of the Exile, even though it got nerfed on the attributes, the bleed duration that it gives us is just way too good to pass up. I tried not going for it this time around, but it's just way too good. It's also a lot of movement speed with the tier 7 movement speed on this, so it's still very much worth it. Third single, it just gives us a little bit of movement speed, attack speed, +1 physical skills. It's not that important, but it's good, and a little bit of bleed on hit. You can swap these with a different belt. You can go Brewmaster's Buckle if you want for a more defensive setup, but I still like this. It just complements everything on our build very well. And extra movement speed is never bad. This is very nice without haste as well, so you will be having like 120 plus movement speed on your echoes with haste. Then the last couple of uniques here, those are coming a little bit later on. Birds of the Swine is very nice. It's a common amulet. You can find 2 LP of this very easily. You want the red one here for the extra physical damage, but any of them would actually work early on if you don't have the red one, but the red one has physical damage, so it scales our damage a little bit more. Other than that, it just complements a lot of our resistance and stuff like that, and it's very easy to get with 2 LP, so you can get health, physical damage, or damage over time. Both physical damage and damage over time scales are built equally, so both of them are good. It doesn't matter which one you hit on the slam. When it comes to Majasa, this is coming from the Tomb of Vessels with an Echo, and of course you can farm that one. I only use 2 LP here because the effective level for Legend and Potential goes a little bit increased this season, so 3 LP is gonna be a little bit harder to farm. If you are dedicated enough, you should get it. You can get extra life, you can get all resistances, and change some other things around your build. But other than that, 2 LP is more than enough. Block, tier 7, and block effectiveness. This will cap you your block. You need maximum rolls on the tier 7 block here, of course, as well as your blessing here, and you're capped on your block. We don't use block on any other items, but early on, before you get that, you want just a plain old sealed iron glass is the best exalted base that you can get, and this gives you a lot of block for your early progression. And of course, again, you can get block effectiveness suffix on rings and on your gloves early on. When it comes to the rings, I like silver rings a lot for the movement speed. The best part about this build when it comes to the rings is that you want to craft one really good one and just have enough Forge Potential. One Forge Potential would be enough to use a Rune of Creation so that you double in and you are done with the crafting of the rings. Tier 7 increased thrown attack speed is very important. You seal a tier 1 prefix with a minus mana cost. You add either damage over time or physical damage. Both are good. Physical damage might be a little bit better for the explosions here, but I don't think it's gonna matter that much. Both of them are good. And you get double life or endurance, and you're good to go. Endurance of both of your rings is also very nice, but we can cap our endurance very easily through our idols as well. If you get endurance here, you get a different affix on the idols, a different sound. I talked about the importance of the Sentinel body armor and helmet. Of course, Champion Regalia and Leonine helmet. Those are the absolute bases when it comes to those slots out of every class. You get a lot of flat armor, you get a lot of mitigation, critical reduction from the helmet as well, so you're good to go there. You want as much life, you want bleed on hit and physical penetration. As I said, duration, bleed duration and physical damage hybrid is also nice, but because we do get bleed duration from other sources, you can skip it. If you have that, it's completely fine. Dragonborn Axe, this is gonna be one of the hard, let's say, items to farm. These are a little bit more rare bases, and it's gonna be tough to find one of those like that. But once you have the gloves, the best thing about this one is that apart tier 7, physical damage or damage over time, both of them are completely fine. They're exactly the same values. You can even get tier 7 bleed on hit if you find it. But other than that, the secondary prefix here, it can be either ignite or poison. Both of them, or shock. So we have three different elements for our secondary here, which makes things a little bit easier on the craft and how you drop it, because all of them will be converted into blitzhands from the gloves. Another amazing bonus when it comes to the gloves, after the gear of course, is coming from the blessings, right? Now, blessings, ignite, soak, and bleed. So this is 300% blade chance. This build in total right now, without maximum rolls, it has over 1200 blade chance. So it's pretty nuts because we have a lot of hits through the hammer throw. And once again, these blessings will only come after the gloves. Earlier on, you get health, or you get the void resistance to cap your void resistance extremely easy. And once you get the gloves, you swap into ignite. Here you can get the flat mana, you can get line resistance. Line resistance is probably not very important because of the Holy Aura, but yeah, it's just there. This is very important to get, first of all, on your build, bleed on hit, and the block. Those are the two important early game blessings, and a little bit of extra armor, of course, always helps. When it comes to the idols, I talked about this one. You want one with smite. Block effectiveness, of course, is very, very nice because you're gonna cap your block. You want extra mitigation. The block effectiveness here was nerfed a little bit, but other than that, it's still good. When it comes to the enchants, I have armor and armor mitigation to DOT, so it helps a little bit with our mitigation to damage over time. But you know, this is a 10 on gauntlets. This one has the DOT. We're getting a little bit of armor mitigation to DOT on our skill tree. This just helps a little bit more. The rest are 4 large idol, very, very easy. Bleed duration, physical damage over time. This is pretty much it. And I'm capping very easily my endurance through that one because it's a fairly common enchant and you can get it easily. The last two here are bleed on hit and physical penetration with bleed, and a little bit of extra resistances on the suffixes. You can swap those for another one of those if you find that you are overcapping this 10 times per 2 seconds, or you are not hitting, excuse me, the cap for the 10 times per 2 seconds. The easiest way to understand if you're hitting the cap or not is when you're on a boss, you will see a small gap where your hammers are not proccing any smites. If this happens and you have a small gap, you are capping your smites from your hammer throw and you're good to go. As I said, our attack speed is fairly good here. As you can see, 126 throwing attack speed is no joke, and this doesn't even count the buff from the smite and amplifying another thing here. So yeah, this is the build. Definitely recommend this if you want to just chill on your Leagustarter, get the hammer throw from middle levels and push it to the ends of the game. And of course, if you want, you can swap into a Uber Rubber of setup. I will have another video when it comes to Paladin specifically for an Uber Rubber of Planner, a build that I already tested this season, and it's getting insane next season as well. So you can start with this one, get your progression, farm a little bit, and once you start getting the gear for that build, you can swap and do Uber Rubber of farm like that. This is my plan for my own Leagustarter on the Beastmaster, but we're gonna talk about that in the next videos. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hit the like button if you like the video, if you find it interesting, and of course, if you have any questions, do let me know down in the comments below. I answer all of them, and have a great League start, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.